So yeah, final topic. I have bored you enough. So this is the final topic, believe me. But this is equally important to be all a therapist, and we cannot ignore that. Given the fact that what happened yesterday, I need not explain you what happened yesterday. So yeah, we have to be Atmanirbhar as a therapist. We have to, you know, Atmanirbhar is very important thing. What has been explained. Self care is very very important for our therapist, for us as therapists, because if you are empty you cannot fill others. If you yourself are trained, if you yourself are low battery, you cannot motivate, you cannot push, you cannot do counseling for other patients. So just be remember of that. If you are full of everything, if you're full exploding and everything, then only you can share your ideas and everything. I don't know who wrote this, but I read it on Facebook. Looked good. So yeah, that's why I shared it. So don't ask me where I found this quote. So yeah, but it made sense to me. So yeah, burnout in physiotherapists. This is a serious topic. Nobody tells us. Nobody talks about it, and this is suddenly picking up press now these days. So burnout is a serious condition in physiotherapists. Yeah, high personal expectations in physiotherapists is the biggest reasons. Okay, I will treat all my patients. I am going to make everyone better. I'm going to make everyone happy. Everyone who comes to my clinic is going to walk, is going to run, is going to swim, is going to smash all the world records, is going to be the next Virat Kohli. That's high expectations. So high expectations is one number one leading cause of burnout in many physiotherapists. Dealing with patients with chronic complaints. If a patient comes to you, repeatedly for the same problem, you tend to think, oh, did I do this, did I do that, and then you treat them, you go home, yet you think, okay, did I do this wrong, did I do that wrong, and then even at home, despite you are sitting and watching a movie, you're still reflecting on that patient. So that is also important thing, especially for chronic pain patients whom we cannot help beyond a point. So it's necessary to identify that as well, who we can help and who we sort of cannot help after a point in time, definitely. Emotional exhaustion, physiotherapy is physically and emotionally, it is an exhausting job. If you see 20 patients on a day repeatedly over a long period of time, definitely it is going to take an emotional toll on you. Everyone expects you that, okay, physiotherapist is supposed to be strong. You are a medical professional. You shouldn't take money. You should be selfless. You should leave your movies. You should leave your friends and everything and only serve patients. That is a loss of emotional exhaustion. So just be aware of that. Depression is also unfortunately very common in normal people these days. Many healthcare professionals have it. So physiotherapists are not immune to that. So this is something to consider as well. Younger age, the more younger you are, the more likely you are going to be burnt out as a physiotherapist. With age, you know how to manage things, but more younger you are, unfortunately, young physios are more susceptible to sort of burnout rather than more experienced and sort of more mature physiotherapists. Females, I don't know, for some strange reason in India, female, this is an Indian study what I'm discussing. Female physios are more exposed. This is not physios, sorry, this is just healthcare professionals. Female healthcare professionals are more exposed to burnout, more prone to burnout than male professionals. I don't know why. Now, this can be multifactorial if you look at the society, if you look at everything, and then the work life balance, marriage, postnatal depression. There's so many factors, but female unfortunately are more prone to have burnout than men. Unmarried, if you are not married, there's no sort of support, if you're living on your own, you are more likely to have a burnout than as compared to if you are in married or if you are in a serious relationship or anything like that, according to research. And difficult work conditions as well. Difficult work conditions, if you're seeing too many patients in a day. So this was a research done in Rajasthan by K Sarwani et al. They have sort of analyzed, it's a systematic review on the medicos, basically healthcare professionals. They have taken physios in this uh, in their group as well. So they haven't excluded physios. So yeah, this was the finding. So the one in the red is just it's a European study. It's a uh, European study, whereas the other one, this is an Indian study. So unfortunately, burnout is very common in physiotherapists. So and we cannot escape from that fact. So yeah, this is my bad. Spot me if you can. This was interestingly, after what happened yesterday, the reason why I shared this picture was after what happened yesterday, Sushant Singh Rajput I'm talking about. We all, we have a WhatsApp group, and we tried to discuss, okay, is this a serious problem or not? Surprisingly or not, 70% of, not all, I won't take their names, but definitely 70% of therapists did have some stress related. These are physios with 10 years of experience, roughly 10 years. Yeah, it is 10 years. Yeah, 2010, it's when we qualified. These are physios with 10 years. There's also research which says that the more experienced you are, the more number of patients you see. So there's a flip side to this. When you are young, you are also prone to burnout. More experienced you are, you're also equally prone to burnout. So just watch out for that as well. And many therapists out of these lot did have mental health problems at some point in their time. They did feel suicidal. And this was something nobody had shared until yesterday. And yesterday we all got together and we were like, yeah, someone did this, someone did that. And just an honest confession, I was the unfortunate one who had mental health problems and suicidal thoughts in my second year in physiotherapy. And that's how I have explored this topic. And that's how I can vouch for it. It is a serious thing. It's not easy. My reasoning was that I came from non-physio background, non-medical background. Suddenly, this intelligent guy, expecting a lot, I decided to push myself a lot, become scared, pushing myself, failing in a few subjects, even though I was supposed to be the brightest one. So yeah, but I've suffered from it. I'm not disputing that. So it is an important thing. Burnout, physio burnout. It is a serious thing. Nobody talks about it. We are not aware. And I was actually surprised that majority of my friends, these are my friends, these are my colleagues, they also have experienced burnout at a certain point in your life. So yeah, productive work. Most people think, if you are working productively, most people think, if you are a productive physio, the ideal structure, most people think that you should have leisure equally along with social media exposure and work. So they both should be equal in your in your day. This is the time you spend daily on a regular basis. So you should have a balance about your work, your leisure, as well as social media. But however, the best way how you can engage, you can be more productive according to me. This is again my perspective. I'm not a motivational guru or anything like that. This is just coming from a healthcare professional who has been in depression, who has discovered ways, who has tried and different aspects, and this is something what worked for me. So definitely work is important, but definitely there is a place for leisure. There is a place for reading. Reading may be physio, may not be physio. Exercise, again, we tell our patients to exercise. How many times do we exercise? And I'm guilty. I'm equally guilty of it. I didn't exercise much. So, and that's fine. Planning and reflection is also one thing. You have to be, important. You have to reflect. You have to plan. And there are days when you fail as a physiotherapist, and you should be comfortable with it because you are not going to treat everyone, unfortunately. There are some patients you are going to fail, and that's okay. That's fine. This is life. Social media exposure is also one of the important things. Social media, they these days it's difficult to keep yourself off your phone even for a few seconds, and that's really making us, not helping us to solve our mental demons, our mental problems. It's not giving us time to plan and reflect, and it's just putting us on a loop of, just consumption, consumption, consumption. And but we need to isolate ourselves from social media effectively as well. That's also equally effective. So just be aware of these things as well. How to refill yourself? Again, my perspective, my take on it: exercise daily. Try and have an exercise. Try and do something productive, something exercise. Suppress your cortisol level. As I explained before. Nothing what we physio know or don't know, but it's important to remind ourselves sometimes. Meditate regularly, as far as possible. Just meditate. Now, these are just not my guidelines. I discussed this with my group yesterday, and most of them said yes to most of these things as well. So have a routine. So plan your work, basically work, play, plan. With these many times I'm going to see the social media. These many times I'm going to respond to emails. That helps. That really helps. It sounds that you are going to be caged or sort of structured in a routine, but it's not exactly. It actually liberates you further. So, but plan it, but don't be rigid about it. So there is that flip side as well. So just be aware of that. Express and write your negative thought. Reflection does help. Writing a diary, writing a book definitely does help. It helps to calm down your demons. It helps you to, helps you to understand your limitations as a therapist. You cannot solve all the world problems, and it will take time to solve certain problems, and it will take time to upgrade yourself. So just be comfortable with those ideas. Exposure following after 7 p.m. So just before I sleep, I try to isolate. I try. It's not sort of complete 100%, but I try as much as possible to restrict my time on social media or phone exposure. Definitely, because there's research which says that phone, if you look at the phone consistently, and definitely it sort of stimulates your melatonin and disturbs your sleep wake cycle. So yeah, it is important to consider that after 7 o'clock. Seek help if required. 2 times I have approached the psychiatrist. Twice I have been on medication, and that's just my experience. And being a man who's, you are supposed to be mat ko dard nahi hota hai, but you have to be sometimes in touch with your human side and just seek help if required. There's no shame in asking for help. Easier said than done, though. I will tell you, it's not easy, but seek help. That's the best thing what you can do. This is just my perspective, mind you. This is just my formulaic way of looking at things. Yeah. And it has been confirmed by my friends. No one size fits all. Explore your strategy. That's what I would say. This is a structure. This is a Google map finding. See, if you are at Somaiya and you want to get at Andheri, the fastest way how Google map is going to get you there is either via a train or a bus. It's your intention to catch which train you want to plan, which train you want to catch, or do you want to catch a bus, or if you have more money, you can either take an Ola. So yeah, it's your plan. So you decide how you want to go from here to here, from Sion to Andheri. There are different routes. So these are the different routes, but you have to find which is good for you, and it comes with trial and error. Be kind on yourself, take your time, and then go ahead with it.